Hey there, Godly Adventurers. Welcome to a new installment for the channel. We're going to go YouTube this time, which is exciting. 2024, the year of new beginnings, right? So I'm going to do a book review, and I do talk about books on the channel sometimes to break them down, and might give them a small bit of review about my thoughts. But this is just going to be a straight up review of a book, and this time we're going to do it on Cell 22 by Monica Smith. Here she is on the cover. So, as you might know, if you follow the channel, I've had the pleasure of meeting Monica and attending some of her trial stuff this year, and I've also not only uploaded pictures of that on Facebook, but also did a bit of a talk on that back in August, I think. I mean, who's got time to remember these things, right? But now that I finished her book earlier this month, I just wanted to just give a bit of a review of that, and let's see what you guys think. Maybe pick it up yourself. We have a physical copy you can purchase, and we also have the audio book, and I'm sure Monica's happy for you to take whichever one suits you and give it a listen. So, what's the book about? How can I sum this up? Well, it's basically following Monica partially during her time in solitary confinement back in 2021. She was mainly doing it, I think, to get her thoughts out past the time, because there's not a whole lot to do in solitary confinement, unfortunately. But also in order to explain how she got to the point that she was as a, political prisoner, as it were, and someone who's a very public political figure. She does go all the way back to her childhood, and it becomes a bit autobiographical, where it explains things that happened to her as a child, teenager, young woman, and shows that through line of events that developed her into the person she is. And that was quite interesting, because obviously knowing her a little bit and seeing her on social media, and that, it was very interesting to see that curtain pulled away and to get to know the person behind all that and who she was prior to that as well. So that's something I did like about the book. And the tagline "From Party Girl to Political Prisoner" really drew me in, because quite often I'll find myself looking at my life and going, wow, I've, had some tough experiences as well, but also I've turned into someone I never thought I could be. A bit like Saul to Paul conversions. And I noticed that was kind of Monica's experience as well. So it was nice to sort of resonate with her in that, well, sometimes things can go bad, and sometimes you can lack a bit of direction or strength in some areas. But as you grow, you can put down more foundation, and you can be shaped and strengthened and find who you are, find purpose and direction. That was quite nice. And obviously she's a bit older than I am, so she's a bit further ahead with that. But I think that I'm doing pretty well in my journey as well. And so I'm at that point where it seems to be moving upward towards something really good. Whether it's through here, like this podcast, YouTubing stuff, or something else, we'll see what God has in store, won't we? But yeah, that's something I personally enjoyed looking at, because that resonated with me, and it was interesting to see how her version of that took place. We know that God does take the weak and foolish things of this world, and he picks very unlikely heroes, things that humans wouldn't necessarily value or expect to see a lot out of, and consistently we see through, the New Testament, the Old Testament, Genesis, Israel, the church, judges, kings, prophets, whatever. He often does pick the ones that you wouldn't think would succeed, and that he equips them to succeed. So that was interesting to just, sort of delve into that sort of theme again. So that was what I liked about the book. I will warn you, there are some negative things that didn't necessarily bug me too much, but if you're going to read it, I will give you some forewarning. One, it does get a bit dark and maybe a bit explicit. And if you have a bit of trauma around certain sexual stuff, then just so there's no nasty surprises, that's in there. But also, just even if you haven't, that can be a little bit explicit. And at times I thought, whoa, this is kind of a bit too much information. I hope this is going somewhere and isn't in for the sake of being there. Spoiler alert, it does go somewhere and does mean something, but unfortunately you just kind of have to ride out the tough bits in order to get there. But, that's how life works, right? So there is that. And if you are, I wouldn't recommend this book to younger people, maybe 17, 18 or older. But if you are a parent, from what Monica has said, and at the end of the book, her mother is given a chapter to weigh in on some of the book's themes as well. I would read that. And if you're a parent, you can go back and talk to your children about some of the things the book addresses in appropriate ways, because I'm sure what Monica and her mother would want is that some of the things that happened to them both that could be avoided, they would like it to be avoided in the lives of others, which is where the warnings and information come in. If you're prepared for certain dark patches and certain traps, you can avoid them altogether, hopefully. And that's what I would want for you to. And then there's the third thing, the politics of the book. I don't disagree with the politics, but by their nature, politics do tend to divide and offend people. But I would say if you tend to be apolitical, you don't have a strong stance on Monica Smith, you like her and her politics, you hate her and her politics, I'll just say, give the book a read with an open mind. And you can sort of follow the trains of thought, you can follow the footnotes and the research, and just see where you come out. And I'm hoping that you can feel comforted, you can feel inspired, you can maybe go, find some direction where you can maybe up your game and serve, or take part in a cause. You can be awake to something that you didn't know about, or have certainty about something that you were on the fence about. And I'm sure that everyone's going to have their own different experiences, but I hope that whatever experience you have is positive and something that you need to have, God willing. May that be how the book leaves you once you've finished that last page. So that's kind of what I have to say about it. Overall, it was a good read. I think she's a great person. She definitely does have her own sort of sense of humor, and sometimes it does come through in the book, and it does get a bit of a laugh out of me. So that was fun to just see that. So I encourage you to give this a look. Remember, physical copy or audio book, it's up to you, whichever you prefer. Obviously, I prefer to get my hands dirty and actually read good old-fashioned paper. I'm a 90s kid, and we used to have this thing called paper back then, so I'm used to doing things the more analog way than digital. But that's just me, and I won't judge if you want to do it differently. But thanks for sitting through this book review, and have a nice day. Please get reading, and stay tuned for some more installments very soon. Ciao for now. God bless.